Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name's John. We talk about life in your 40s and a whole host of other tasks. Thank you to Tanya, who posted a message on yesterday's video asking for an update on how things were going with the sales, me selling things across a couple of different apps. And I thought I'd take you on a ride along today. I'm in Yvonne's Volvo XC40. It's an electric car. Talked about this in other videos. I think this is my third time ever driving it, and I haven't quite got used to it yet. It's so quiet. And also, when you get in it, the car is just, when you unlock it, just on, right? You know when you get in a petrol or a diesel car, put your key in, or you hit the start button, maybe press down a pedal, and then the engine starts. Here, you get in this thing and everything's just on. No wonder it doesn't get the miles to the charge that you expect, but everything's on. I hop in and then I just get ready to go, but I haven't quite got used to it yet. But I'm in the car today and I'm popping over to drop off some packages, and I need to do that in one of these new delivery companies. I think this one's called InShop. It's one of the delivery selection options that you have available on Vinted. And so I'm going to drop off some packages just now and then get home and carry on with listing, and I'll give you some more details then. But for now, we're out in this milk float. Makes me chuckle slightly because my dad used to deliver the milk on a milk float when he was a kid, and used to tell me stories about being on the milk float and how they would switch it off when they were on a hill and just let the thing run, right? And they would have a game of seeing how far it could go just out of its own momentum. And I used to chuckle at that, thinking about the electric milk float. And now here I am, sitting in Yvonne's electric milk float, aka the Volvo. I need to go to Sainsbury's here. I had to Google this because apparently Sainsbury's is a drop-off location for this InShop company. So I'm off to explore how this works. See, when you get to a stage where you want to just post something and you have to download an app and go to a location and scan a bar, I'm like, you've lost me. How much is this costing? You know, I had my gripes about the Royal Mail previously, and now I'm having my gripes about this. And I'm watching, there's a truck here that's just trying to pull into my lane, and usual, like, not checking his mirrors. So before I get wiped out in Yvonne's car, become another electric EV statistic, I'm trying to watch the road at the same time as talking to you lot. But apparently Sainsbury's here has a drop-off point, so I am going to go and explore that drop-off point, see if I can figure this out, and then I'll give you some updates on which platform's been working for me, how the sales have been going, what kind of cash I've generated. I'll pick up on that in a minute or two, but for now, just enjoy the drive with me. It's kind of like having you in the seat next to me and me just chatting away to you like some kind of lunatic. But I don't know if you can see, but it's blue skies everywhere, which has been rare in the last weeks and months. I am a summer person. Even though I've come from Scotland, Glasgow, where the weather is predominantly always miserable, I am a summer person. And if I can be cheeky enough, I would say that even though I'm Scottish and I've moved to England and I've lived here for like 13 years, I am officially a southern softie. I have adopted the English weather as my own, particularly here in the Midlands, where it's just generally okay all the time. You never really get snow, might get rain occasionally, but it's never horrific. It's not like Glasgow horrific. And I like this. I'd like it warmer. We probably all would. I don't know about you, but when I woke up this morning in my house, oh God, it was cold. It just was that sudden bitter feeling. I could feel it in my toes this morning more than anything, but that was, I think I woke up at like 5:30 for some random reason. My sleep patterns are all over the place. But I woke up at like 5:30 this morning and I could just feel the chill in the house because we don't have heating on during the night or anything. I don't think it kicks in till like 7 o'clock in the morning. And then it just gives a little blast in the house for a while whilst we're getting up and getting ready and Yvonne's starting our work in the office downstairs. But I could feel it. Could you feel it this morning? But at least the blue skies give us some indication that we're on the right path to summer. Right, let's see if I can get parked up and find out where this drop-off location. Okay, here's some lockers down here. Right. I mean, I'm looking to like turn this thing off, right? Just the park button and get out. Let's, how can I take you with me? All right, that's good enough. Let's take you with me. It's not likely to get stolen, but I better just take the key. Yeah. Let's spin you round. So, corner of Sainsbury's, we've got this locker. Let's see what you have to do here. So, scan. Let's scan the first package. What's it say? Oh, touch to start. This parcel requires a label. Confirm that the label is attached. Yes. It's a small package. Confirm. One parcel compartment, put the parcel in. Ooh, that door just opened. Well, that's kind of cool, right? Put that in there, and then what do you do? Close it over, is that it? Now, let's go back to the start. Touch to start. Scan the second package. Scan the second package. Yes, my label is attached. Okay. See where the thing is gonna pop out. That's all fine. Confirm. Hooray! Right at the balls. I'll put that in there. Close that over. Confirm my parcel. Now, that just works. Right. Let's get back home and get on with the second part of this video. Trying to get in the car now and I forgot that I've locked it. And it doesn't have one of those keys that just immediately lets you in. Bloody hell. What have I done with the key now? What have I done? Oh, thank God for that. I was honestly... Do you know where my head just went to? Do you know where my head just went to with that? The panic. I just had visions there that I'd put the key with the package in a locker. Because I'm just not paying attention because I'm talking to you and doing all of this. But I had the key in my hand and then I was like, where is it? I just put it in a pocket, but I couldn't find it there. In a slight moment of panic, my brain just filled in the gaps for me, which was, you put it in a locker, John, it's gone, it's on the way to that customer. How are you going to get it out of the locker? You're not, you've balls this up. Somebody said before about being an overthinker. Have I just demonstrated it? Feels like I have. Oh, this is what happens when Yvonne's not with me, right? Because she's like common sense in these moments. She'll be like, oh, it's in your pocket. But not for me on my own. No, instead, I just have my own haunted thoughts to look after me. Right. Let's pay attention enough to knock down some Poor person just trying to cross the zebra crossing here in Sainsbury's. Listen to how quiet this car is. Sometimes I just look at these two, just straight across the road, not a job. Oh, we've got high-vis jackets on. Look. Couple of wallopers. Just walk straight out. You need to have your wits about you, don't you? Maybe they're thinking, oh, we never heard that electric car coming. All right, fair enough. So the question that was asked from Tanya was, how are you getting on with the sales? How are you getting on with selling stuff? It's a good question, Tanya. Thanks for prompting me. So I've listed about 20 items to date across Vinted, eBay and Depop. So that's the same items listed across each of those platforms. And I really appreciate the advice that I received. A couple of people mentioned that Vinted was kind of a negotiation style platform. So I was kind of ready for that. I listed all of the items at the same values across each of the platforms. Each of them has their own kind of billing system attached to it. So with Vinted, you can do a 3-day or a 7-day boost, which comes at a cost. 3-day is £1 and the 7-day I think is about £3.50. With eBay, you can list for a very, very low fee, but they now charge you to create some kind of marketing, to create awareness for the product, and it's a percentage of your sale. They will give you a recommendation, but you can adjust it yourself. So I think the lowest is 2% of the cost, up to a kind of standard of 10, 12, 15%, which is what they recommend to you. Now, to me, that just seems really high. So I listed each of the products with a small marketing pot attached to it, I think between 2 and 4%. And each of the t-shirts on eBay received the lowest of the views versus Depop and also Vinted. And in terms of Depop, again, getting any views onto the t-shirts themselves was quite challenging. And you can, again, also pay to give it a boost. And I did that on, I think, 2 of the shirts just to see if it attracted a kind of audience, maybe recognising that I'm selling official band merch from a range of different bands. People might follow. In terms of the success so far, Vinted has been the way to go. I've sold 3 t-shirts so far, and I've sold them generally around the price that I listed them for. I have negotiated on a couple, and so I've kind of taken the strategy of thinking about a list price and then a realistic sell price that I've got some room to negotiate in there, and that's given me the success of clearing those out. So I sold a Ben Howard t-shirt almost straight away, which was great. Poor Ben Howard, bit of folk music out the door. And I've then followed that up by selling an Interpol t-shirt. Great New York post-punk band, highly recommend them. And last night I sold a t-shirt by a band called Russian Circles, who are kind of like a progressive metal band, don't really have any vocals. They are predominantly just music. So sold one of their latest tour t-shirts. Let me say that again, latest tour t-shirts. So I sold that last night and they've now been shipped away, as you saw in the earlier part of the video. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make sure that I iron and photograph a few t-shirts a day, typically 4 or 5 t-shirts a day, and keep adding them. But I'm now going to mainly focus on Vinted for the t-shirt sales. However, I am selling some other items and I'll come on to that in a minute. But in the meantime, it's just a man ironing. You're watching a man iron. Now, I'm also having a coffee. Don't know if you can see that. But come on, tell me down in the comments. Do you know what this relates to? If you know what this relates to, we can be friends. One of the greatest 80s movies of all time, and probably my #1 movie of all time. I must have seen this more than any other film going. Bueller. Bueller. Anyone? I'll tell you, just as a little funny note, right? I didn't go to this tour. I've no idea whether I'll sell this t-shirt. I actually bought it as a joke, mainly because I go to a lot of festivals or was going to gigs and I would normally have that band's shirt on. But just for a joke, I saw this on eBay and I bought it. This is years ago, during the lockdown, I think, when my brain wasn't quite functioning. But I bought the Steps Tour t-shirt. And I think I'm going to have some issues trying to sell this one on, but it made me chuckle. Steps, right? And as a confession, I think that's probably the worst of the band t-shirts. And I use the term band loosely when describing Steps, but I don't know. In my head, I was thinking, oh, I'll put this on, it'll be funny the next time you're out with your pals at a gig and you've got a Steps t-shirt on. That's how it played out in my head. In reality, none of that really happened. Instead, I've just been left with a £10, £15 Steps t-shirt. Just to show you that I've got some musical cred, at least beyond the Steps t-shirt. This one here, and see if I win any brownie points in return, but like the legends that are Thin Lizzy. The boys are back in town. Same process as I went through before. Give the t-shirt a little iron, seeing as it's been in a plastic bag, in a plastic box, on a wardrobe shelf for some time, just to make it look a little bit better, a little bit more appealing, you know. But these have tended to look pretty good, so one more and then I can get these all listed. I know that noise of that thing must be freaking people out because it's like, it's got that kind of, this is like an ASMR channel. And of course, last but not least, it's an XL. All right, let's move on to the next stage. Now, where I have found more success on the likes of eBay is selling technology products. These are a couple of the original Play 1 Sonos speakers that I've had around the house, and I've sold a couple of them already. I'll show you the page in a second on the screen, but I'm just about to list these two. I'll sell them individually. I don't have the boxes for them, so let me get the listing up and we'll see how we get on with getting rid of these as well. 3 sales so far on Vinted, and if you look right here, here is what I've sold each of those 3 t-shirts for. So it's a start, it's 3 t-shirts down. I have a couple of hundred to get through, but I'm trying to list each day and then just see how we get on. So now that I've cut back from probably listing on Depop and also eBay, I'll stay focused on Vinted and see how many of these I can clear. When it comes to the eBay side of sales, I found it much easier to navigate in terms of technology sales. So showing up on screen just now, I'll show you what I've sold in the last couple of weeks. Generally, Sonos speakers, which I've decided to part with, and also some artwork that I picked up from a Blink-182 concert. But also, just have a look at this. These are 2 ticket stubs to a concert that I attended and have now resold the ticket stub to a past concert for this. I'm pretty happy with that. It goes to show you that sometimes keeping a hold of these things, they do hold a little bit of value down the line. So it's all money coming in to help us fund what comes in the second half of this year. It's exciting. And that's the status update on all of these products, t-shirts and sales so far. That's all of the content for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for everybody that's been involved in the past few discussions, the car charging, the council tax, and also sharing the revenue from YouTube. Yesterday's video, if you haven't seen that, there's a link here for you to go check it out. It's fascinating to see everybody's feedback on how much they thought might have been made out of that video versus the reality. But again, just to stress on what I said yesterday, to me, the fact that I've been able to build something myself and earn £1 off of my own back for a change has just been like a revelation, just been exciting to me and kept me turbocharged to get up every day and repeat this process. So thanks for joining me and following along with this storyline so far. I appreciate you, and YouTube thinks you might want to watch this video here for the next one after this. Have a great day.